Okay, let's get fucking real for a minute. I'm going to get a bit nitty gritty personal with you. I make it no secret that I despise SJWs and feminists. Their demand for censorship, dismissal of free speech rights, language control, and thought policing infuriate me every time they open their mouths. They taint what could have been legitimate discussions on equality. They do it every damn time. However, my pure hatred for this trend goes even deeper than that. And in order to explain this as best I can, I'm going to have to give you an example via a story. In high school, I knew a girl. Let's call this girl Josie. Josie was pretty, she was smart, she was well off. She literally had everything going for her. But there was one thing Josie didn't have. Although she was smart, she wasn't very interesting. You see, when I say smart here, I mean she tested well, but she didn't really critically assess anything. So, in a way, talking with her was not the most invigorating experience. But the only thing that ever made Josie's life hard was Josie. Now, there were times when Josie was not the center of attention. Now, let's also be honest here. Everyone likes a bit of attention, a bit of validation, being sort of the center of things in a positive way is what we all crave. It's part of the human experience. Now, to be the center of attention, there are a few different ways you can do it. One is you can sort of study and really look into something, be someone worth talking with about things. Or you can create stuff. You can be someone worth talking about. Those are the hard ways, because they require work and care. Josie was lazy, so she played the victim. She dyed her hair punk and acted like her life was the hardest to ever exist. Her claim to this victimhood, her only V card, is that she was bullied for like 2 years when she was like 8. And when I say bullied, I mean she had a fight with her friends and they had a little falling out. So it was a situation that wasn't entirely out of her control. That's what I mean by bullying here, and that's what I mean by victim. This was my first encounter with faux victimness, and it immediately hit a nerve. I guess you could say I was triggered, but I'm not going to say that because I'm not a pussy. Every day of my school life, from kindergarten to the end of high school, was shit. And unfortunately, shit is an understatement here. That is a solid 12 years of non-stop bullying and abuse. That is more than half my life. I'm 22 years old. So for the majority of my life, I was given a hard time by just about everyone. From my teachers, from my fellow students, from my fucking siblings. So I got home and it was still happening. And of course, from my friends, if I can call them that. Basically, they were the people that were the least shitty. And I was in the situation where I would take whatever I could fucking get. I was called Bucky, train tracks, slut, frigid, man, lesbian, and more than I even care to remember. Because who the fuck wants to remember that? The majority of my memories of childhood and teens is constant fights and pain. I can't remember the number of times that I came off the bus crying. Oh yeah, there was a bus too, as well. That was not the magical trip every day that I wanted it to be. And I'm not gonna lie, it fucked me up quite a bit. I struggled for a very long time. I was angry for years. And that affected how I interacted with people that I could have gotten along with. So later on, maybe when the bullying wasn't as bad, it still affected me. Because it means I couldn't properly communicate with people. I didn't trust anyone. I was paranoid. And I still am. And this is something I am now getting over, but I still struggle with it, which is didn't like leaving the house, didn't fucking want to be surrounded by people. I felt like everyone was staring at me, fucking judging me, everyone fucking hated me. Because of course they did. I'm not a nice person, I'm a horrible person. Of course everybody hates me. Everyone is telling me I'm a horrible person. Everyone was telling me I was worthless. So why would I think people I don't yet know would think any differently? That was what I did and do struggle with every day. But despite this, I don't want to be defined by it. I'm not going to write this up on my Tumblr fucking bio. I'm not going to claim these fucking mental illness disorders that I know I don't have. I'm not going to claim depression because I was sad for a while. I'm not going to claim that I have dissociative personality disorder because I can't properly interact with everybody. I'm not going to claim this because I don't have it, and it would be an insult to the people who do if I did. I refuse to be a victim. I do not want to be known for the troubles I have. I want to be known for the things I do, the things I accomplish, the thoughts I share on subject matters. That's what I want to be known as. I do not want to be a victim. I do not want to be defined by my pain. But that's me though. I want to be greater than my suffering. Because I know what suffering is. I know what pain is. I know what it is to feel like shit every day. I know that. But apparently, not everybody does. I see now, all over the fucking place, people like Josie claiming the legitimate life-changing struggles that not only I, but thousands of other people go through as their own. They claim them like they're some sort of fucking fashion accessory or badge. Like they're Cub Scouts. And every mental illness they can pretend they have is another little badge they get to put on their sash. The more badges they have on their sash, the more they can loom over other people and use those badges as an excuse to bully people. That's what I see in these SJWs. They claim mental illnesses they do not have, as if they can somehow compensate for their lack of personality, with no care given to the legitimate sufferers of these diseases. They claim abuse like being disagreed with on Twitter is anyway comparable with being called worthless by people you can't escape every day. They claim oppression like having the door opened for them or being hit on in a bar is anyway comparable to honor killings and forced marriages that are happening right now. They claim they are trans because they don't conform with gender-specific clothing. Like that compares to the mental torture of feeling trapped in a body that isn't yours. Not only feeling that way, but having people either fucking not even understanding you, claiming that suffering as their own, like again it's a trendy fashion item, or let's say you being beaten or killed for it. They claim to be bi, demi, pans, asexual, anything other than straight, because straight is so untrendy, guys. I mean, so many people are straight, you don't want to be like everyone else. They write these down in their online little personas, but they don't follow it in real life, we know that. Being bullied isn't fashionable. Having a mental illness isn't a quirky personality trait. Being trans doesn't compensate for your lack of originality and thought, and claiming to be bi won't give you a free pass when you bully others. People spend years, if not decades, of their life trying to get past these struggles, not wanting to be defined by something like an illness or their sexuality. They want to be seen as the individuals they are, not as the labels they may be forced to wear. If you grew up never having to struggle for anything, never being challenged, always being told you're perfect, you're right, getting the participation ribbon in everything you get, and that you've grown up now to be a vapid, vain, attention-seeking neurotic, then maybe you should do some self-reflecting and critical thinking. Because wearing all these badges to compensate for your lack of depth and original thought is frankly disgusting. Parroting what you see and hear everybody else say without even thinking about it is so dangerous. And blocking people or calling them racist, sexist, homophobic, even if they aren't, because they refuse to parrot the same bullshit you were too vapid and empty to properly assess is disgusting. You have no right to claim the real suffering of people as your own and then turn around and use it to bully them back. You don't get a free pass because of these badges you wear. These are not badges of honor. These are scars that people are trying every day to heal from. And you should be frankly disgusted that you wear them as a trend.